and today I'm going to show you a third bowed boutique style tutorial, and this one's a more traditional boutique with the bows inside. And obviously, as you may have noticed, I'm a bit obsessed with these styles at the moment because we're going to make this one today, but I've also got videos for this style, which is the more inverted boutiques. Well, this is more of a waved boutique style version, same as this one. And then we've also got the bowed boutique style too, which is this one where we make this bit separately. And then you've got a more OTT version, which you can do up to this level. So like I said, lots and lots of different options. And I'm also going to teach you how to do an alternative base bow. And what you'll need 2 pieces of 70cm and 2 pieces of 33cm, and it's all in 1.5 inch ribbon. You can also do it in 1 piece of 70 and 1 piece of 33 if you're just using solid colours, or double-sided ribbon, entirely up to you. And we're going to use a 5-inch template. I have wooden ones, and you will need roughly 73 centimetres of 1.5 inch ribbon. And then obviously I've got some corresponding 9mm for my wrapping my centres as we go. So I'm just going to move this out of the way, and we're going to be using the template first. And I do have a few of these hold clips to hold everything in place. So I'm not worried about heat sealing the ends yet, because we can do that once we've decided how to cut them down. But we wrap the first one round, like I said, that's roughly 1 inch over, and pin the first one in place. And this is basically, it's an alternative to a pinwheel. It's basically like a flowing pinwheel, I'd refer to it as. And what I do is I hold this first one here, and then you want the edge of the ribbon to line up with your template. This is the reason why it works best on these templates. And fold it so your ribbon's still hitting the edge of the wood, you see? And then bring that corner, and then I pin that side. There, with your clip. Bring that up so it's just overlapping. Like I said, only a tiny bit. And again, use that wooden edge or cardboard edge as a guide. And again, fold your ribbon so it's right against the edge. And clip. And repeat the other side. Just a tiny bit overlapping. Use your edge. You can go a tiny bit over, but like I said, try and keep it even on both sides. And clip. And again. Use your edge. Clip. And then this last one, instead of folding back, we fold round, because we started this side, so we should be ending this side to make it flow like a more traditional pinwheel. Okay, so as you can see, we've got the edges pretty much even, which is what we want. And we're going to take our thread. I've already tied mine off for once, and we're going to start from above. And I won't count the stitches, I will just do them and show you once they're all in so I don't get distracted. If that happens, you can do this and use your finger to guide them back. Try and keep your stitches even. As you're doing it. and centered using your guide in the middle. There you go. So in 1, 2, 3 out, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You could probably get away with 10 if you really wanted. I might try for 10. Do a smaller one on that last one. Yeah, I'm just going to try for 10. Do a slightly smaller one. There we go. So in 1, 2, 3, 4 out, and like I said, try and do them as evenly as you can. Okay, but when we're wrapping, we can sort of sort this out a little bit, so don't be overly concerned if they're not perfect. Then you can take your clips off, and move your template out of the way, and then cinch it down, like so, and then you can wrap. What I like to do is just spread it out a little bit and make sure you've not pulled off centre when you've done your cinching, because then if you have, you can sort of move your thread a lot across. That's the best thing about using thread rather than glue and things like that, because you can still adjust it at this point before you back stitch it. So back stitch off, and I will show you in just a second. I won't cut the tails down yet. We'll wait till we've built the rest of the bow, and then we can decide how much we need to take off, depending on how much we want to show once we've built the rest of the boutique. Okay, so that's all rethreaded for a moment, and this is the look you get. Okay, it's not that much different to a traditional pinwheel shape. It just gives you a slightly more interesting look, and I was a little bit off centre there. So as you can see, I can move my there we go, and balance it out. So, like I said, this is a difference. You get this like little bit of, and like I said, if you did it layered, if you did like a print on the top and a solid underneath, you'd get a nice pop of colour under. So there's your flowing pinwheel. What we're going to do now is we want the 33cm piece, and obviously I've got this nice poppy ribbon, and I have layered it with white, and I have layered them together, and I have heat sealed. Let me just adjust my lighter. I have heat sealed, pinched them together until they're sealed. And what I've also done is a pinch centre on both ends, and I've done that both sides. Just going to do that a little bit more because that's come open, and then we'll just re-pinch that side. There we go. And then what we want to do is we want to fold this in half, and we want to crease this centre Remember to stay in the blue bit of the flame so you don't burn your ribbon or get smoke marks on your ribbon. And we want to fold this in half again so we can see where our join bit's going to be. Do a little bit of a crease there. And then last thing to do to work out where we're going to put our ribbon creases in. So we bring this up and this up. Make sure they're all even. Fold them all like this and then crease those two centres, and this is where we're going to sew through our side bow pieces. There we go. So you should be left with 1, 2, 3, 4 even pieces, and once we've got our bow pieces in, we can fold these in like so, and it'll be all nice and even. Okay, so from your crease, don't know which one I'm going to do, go from above, so in 1, 2, a bit more even, so you want 6 because we're going to do 3 creases on each of these bows. And there we go. So there you go, three creases, and wrap, and stitch off in back as normal, and then we're going to repeat on the other side through that crease closest to the end of the ribbon. There we go. There's one stitched off. Just re-tie off the rough thread and then do the other side. Like I said, these bits aren't overly complicated. It is more that some of these bows are more time consuming and they eat quite a bit of ribbon. Unless you're a big fan of double-sided or single colour bows. And you can get away with slightly less, depending on what your personal preferences are. Just tie that off again. And we're going to use some dress pins to pin everything in place. We're going to need the rest of our boutique ribbon in just a second. So let's put those back in one pot. Don't like a messy desk. So the other thing to remember when you're doing this part, before we pin everything, is we need to wrap the centres on these, because if we try and wrap them afterwards, it's really difficult and you'll never get a nice finish. So always remember to add your centres before we start pinning everything together. And I know it's difficult from experience because I've done it a couple of times and it was a nightmare. Oh, excuse my glue gun. I have been heating it up and it's obviously decided to this little warm-up release there. There we go. So wrap that round at least twice like you normally would. There we go. Cut off your excess. Try not to do too much at the back if you can, try and keep it minimal, because what you want when it's wrapped in the centre, we don't want to see much of this crease if we can. You want to try and get it as centred as possible so that we can't see either side when it's wrapped into the bow. And then repeat the other side as before. Okay, touch of glue there. Wrap round twice. One. Two. Like I said, remember to get it as central as possible. Put that to one side because we'll need that for wrapping the middle later. A little bit of glue. There we go. As you can see, I've tried to get the creases pretty even on both sides. Now, last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to refold this bit. I'll just do a slightly more. There we go. Just so I can see where the centre pinch is a little bit better. And then if you take this side and bring that round so that your centre crease meets here, meets that X mark that we started with, and pin one side like so, and then take this side. I want to curve around the other way and bring that so it meets the other side and you centered again. So you've got like the 8 shape loop. There we go. So this is what you should have. That's what it looks like. That's the back. Okay, so we're going to put that to one side. And I've got obviously the white and red, and again I've heat sealed my ends. I have pinched my ends, and I've done this both sides. Heat sealed, pinched, and like I said, this is the 70 centimetres. So then I line up my ends, crease my centre. There we go. And again, I'm going to fold that in half again. Just do a little more of a firm crease there. And then take this side, bring that to your centre crease here. Repeat the other side like so. So you've got these like this. Okay. Make sure they're all lined up. Like so. And then we're going to crease these two bits, and this is where we fold the loops in, and it'll keep the loops nice and even. Okay, so if we open that back up, again we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 even pieces. Okay, and what you want to do is, obviously here's our little centre crease, just so you can see it on the white. So I want to take this side, we want to bring that end to here and pin. There we go. And the same the opposite side, bring that to the centre and pin. Just going to put that little bit more balance. And again, we've got another figure 8, the same as what we've just made with this piece. And we've got the lines in place. You can't really see them, but they're here. There's crease lines on both sides, which we will use to guide our centres in a minute. And what you want to do is this needs to be face down so that this bit with the bows is facing in. So you want to place that directly on the centre, and you want to line up these triangle shapes each side with the smaller piece, and then lift that up. Once you're happy that your corners are in line both sides, you can then pin that, and then you can take some of these out here. There we go. So it's slightly less in there. So that's what you should have so far. Right, and then like I said, from this side, because I always start from this side, bring this directly over your crease, and you still want it, your first line here, lined up with this triangle this side. So that line there, that's where our loop is. Let's draw it on for you. There, directly lined up with that point. Okay, and then hold that. Make sure your layers are together. Overlap your lines. And again, make sure this one is lined up with this corner, this side. Okay, and once you're certain everything's in place and that your lines are over and both meet in the corners of each side, you can then pin through all yourself. Just bent my pin. There we go. That's better. And we can take that one out from underneath. Make sure everything's in place. That's shifted a bit too far over that side actually. So just adjust. Just adjust that before we stitch anything. There we go, that's better. So, as you can see, corner, corner, and then when we've got it frontwards, we can see those little poppy sides. We can see the white on the inside, and we've already got the boutique-ish start shape with the cross front and the lines on the back. Okay. And then we're going to take our thread, excuse that, that was just my lighter falling on the floor. And then from the corner here, we want to be going in from above. We want to do 6 stitches. And like I said, we want to be coming in from that point, and we want to be coming out from this corner here. There we go. Let me just pull this for a little bit for you. so we can see in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and the back 1, 2, 3. Like I said, try and make them even. And it is a bit thick with these manta layers, so do use your desk to push if you need to. And then cinch that together, super tight. You should have 3 nice creases. And wrap around a good couple of times. Now, like I said, because we've used basically 4 layers on this, it will be quite bulky. So like I said, wrap it nice and tight. There we go. And then once you're happy, stitch that off in back. There we go. And then you can give it a little bit of a fluff and pull up your bows a little bit on the side. There we go. And that's the look you've sort of got so far. Obviously that's perfectly through the back, that side. So I'm going to take our flowed pinwheel we made earlier and go straight through the centre of that one. And feed that down to meet it. There we go. And then again, adjust it until you're happy with where the tails fall at the back, and wrap that round a couple of times, nice and tight, so you're happy with it. Like so. You could do a 6-inch version, it depends on how much of the base bow you personally like to see. I like a little bit of a peak rather than full visibility, but like I said, personal choices. Like I said, don't be afraid to adjust them. There we go. And then as you can see, our tails are about the same length actually. So I'm just going to cut them diagonally. Like so. You can curve them, you can spike them. It's entirely personal preferences when it comes to things like this. I like this way or a curve depending on what mood I'm in. And then don't forget to heat seal your edges. Okay. These are always ones that I like to fluff for a bit until I'm happy with the look of the bow. Let me just get a clip to the right side, because for some reason all my 33 and 35 clips were all at the top. So get a nice, at least 45mm. 50 are probably better. A little bit of glue on that centre there. Turn your bow over. There we go. I want some standard 9mm just to wrap the centre first. And then I am going to add the scrunch middle, like on the bow that I originally showed you, purely because of how bulky it is. I think it looks nicer on these double layered versions, just to give it a little bit more balance. So I'll show you how to do that bit as well. So wrap your centre as normal, like I said, round at least twice, nice and tight. There's one. Open your clip back up. Two. excess off. Heat seal that. Touch of glue there. There we go. And like I said, you can leave it as that. Like I said, it's very, very pretty. Or you can add yourself the scrunch centre. I use 1-inch ribbon on this for the 1.5. That's not dark enough. That is poppy rather than scarlet. So I've actually got the correct matching red. And you want roughly 4 centimetres. No, we'll do. What do I normally do? I'm going to do about 4 inches. I normally do 4 inches on 1.5, so we'll do 3 inches on a 1-inch piece, and then if we need to, we can cut down. So don't heat seal your end yet. What we want to do is you make this S shape. Can you see? Sorry, the focus on my camera is not great. There we go. That's better. So you make an S shape one way, and we want to heat seal that together. So pinch that together. Watch your fingers, don't burn yourself. There we go. So we heat seal that side, and then we do it the opposite way, the opposite side. So we still want the S shape, like so. So as you can see, we've got one going this way and one going that way. And that's what it gives you, the little bit of the scrunch. And what you do is you glue one side there. There we go. And then we use that to wrap around the centre from our clip. There we go. Twist that round so obviously it's over. Like so, and then you glue this side round here. There we go. There you go, nice cute scrunch centre, and that is our third bowed boutique style. How pretty are them? You've got so many colour combinations. Like I said, they are really easy. They're a lot easier to make than they actually appear. You can play around with your colour. Like I said, I've got obviously the pattern ribbon in this one. You can do them more plain colours. You can mix it up and have more two-toned, depending on what you personally prefer. You can make them more classic. You can make them more out there. Like I said, it's entirely up to you. Hopefully you found this video super useful. Thank you for watching. If you need any more help or advice, I've linked my group and my page below. I'm always about, and I'll answer any questions that you've got about tutorials or anything else related to bows. Okay, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye.